I know that I have given scathing reviews to many films in my past that I have seen in theaters. I Feel Pretty, Brahms the Boy 2, The Turning, Holmes and Watson, just to name a few. But legitimately, as a whole, Chaos Walking may be the worst film I have ever seen in theaters. It is one of the most broken, nonsensical, and confusing movies I have ever seen. Period. Chaos Walking is directed by Doug Liman and stars Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Mads Mikkelsen, David Oyelowo, and Nick Jonas. This movie is conceptually interesting and possibly a good idea, but everything about it is handled so woefully. I do not think there is any structure in this film, not even a little sliver. For one segment, you may finally get a grasp at what is going on in this film, and it starts to finally make the teensiest, tiniest little bit of sense. But then, in the blink of an eye, the film resets and starts going down a completely different path. And you can tell this is a directionless film. It was shot in 2017 with reshoots in 2019. And if this is the end result of those reshoots that tried to fix what was wrong with the original cut, they didn't do a very good job. And pain. I feel the pain of these people that would have had to see that first cut. This movie in its raw nature not making any sense. Unbelievable. And the script slash screenplay seems to be very scattershot. Characters just appear out of nowhere, seemingly teleporting from location to location. And seemingly on a nonstop basis, the film tries to present information about the people or things about this new planet that is supposedly a new Earth, which looks literally just like Earth, only to forget whatever they were talking about or what they were bringing up in the next line of dialogue. There's a scene where Daisy Ridley asks Tom Holland, why is it never night on this planet? And there just is no answer to that question. Holland's character just ignores it and announces something different that has nothing pertaining to the story or is relatively interesting at all. There is no world building, there is no time frame to help us make sense of how long these people have been here on this planet. Daisy Ridley says that her grandparents left Earth in 64 years ago. How long have these people been on New Earth, on New World? It makes no sense. And then there's a crash landed ship, and it looks like it's been there for 300 years. There's no concrete timeline or any way to make sense of this world. And there seemingly is no rising or falling action because the story is so bare bones, nothing makes sense. There are two villains in this film for some reason, played by Mads Mikkelsen and David Oyelowo, when only one of them is necessary. It spreads itself way too thin while presenting absolutely nothing about these characters. I don't know why Mikkelsen wanted to hunt down Ridley. I don't know why he killed all the women in the first place. They try to give a half-assed answer, which makes no sense. And I have no idea what David Oyelowo was blabbering on about the entire time going throughout the film. He's blabbering about the rapture and shit about God. And it gives no answer to any of that. It doesn't explain anything. At the end, he said, I couldn't tell what was between the noise and what was the word of God. And that makes no sense. There's barely enough motivation for one character, for one villain, let alone two. And like I said before about the script, there's absolutely zero attempt at any kind of world building here. You're on an alien planet, and we see two things that are alien. A bug that Tom Holland kills within the first 2 minutes of the film, and count it, one O-N-E, alien throughout the entire film. And it's the same alien, it's the same scene we saw in the trailer. We already saw it. You're on an alien planet, and there's nothing alien about this. The infrastructure seems human. There's buildings that have been built seemingly out of nowhere, left abandoned. Everybody's got a farm. It looks just like Earth. There is nothing to tell us that this is an alien planet. Alien Covenant is a dog shit film. That movie stinks. But at least you can tell they're on an alien planet. This just looks like the woods in North Dakota. Chaos Walking is beyond befuddling. Nothing about this film makes sense. And the big thing about this film, what is supposed to make it different, is what these characters call noise. where the thoughts of every man is projected out of their head for all to see. Yet we don't understand a single thing about the noise. Like, how far can the noise carry? Or how the fuck do these projections work? Like, Tom Holland, you see it in the trailer, he projects a snake out of his head and scares Nick Jonas off of his horse. Is that a real snake? Could that do damage to Nick Jonas? I mean, Tom Holland's like a 16-year-old kid in this film, or maybe 17. I would have been fucking with everybody if it doesn't do anything. Why aren't these guys constantly running around projecting sharks or snakes or alien species out at each other to fuck with each other? It makes no sense. Are you telling me that the humans that have populated this new world brought snakes with them? And they brought dogs? I get you're trying to form a new planet and a new Earth. Why are you carrying snakes and dogs with you? I get horses, but why snakes? And in the finale, Mickelson, the way that it ends, I'm not going to reveal it. I don't know if anybody's ever going to watch this movie, but I don't want to necessarily give it away. But Mickelson had to have known that was a projection. I mean, people just walk through these projections all the time. Why is he so afraid? Why is he getting backed down by a projection? It doesn't make any sense. And going back to the script, it's bad, but seemingly there are half-ass attempts at jokes throughout the entire film. And not at a single time were any of them funny. The audience kept snickering at what was going on screen, and none of it was warranted. I was confused and bored throughout the entire runtime of Chaos Walking. And the only positive thing I could even think of trying to say about this movie was its pacing. For how bad as it was, it did move along at a very fast pace. For a 2-hour film or whatever it was very brisk. We got in and we got out. Chaos Walking, like I said, is easily one of the worst films I have ever seen in a theater. And I don't know how I went this long reviewing movies for the last 4 years. But Chaos Walking is my first 6 out of 100.